pilots, it's your product specialist Wesley from right here at motionrc.com, and today we are checking out the GPS version of the RotorScale 200 size Huey helicopter. Now this helicopter is going to come completely assembled for you and painted right out of the custom aluminum carrying case. So the nice thing about getting the GPS version of this helicopter instead of a box, you get a nice hard case to keep your helicopter safe in. Now, when you take it out of the box, there is two small things you have to assemble. On the back, you do have to push the little tail pieces in. That's all there is to them. They don't screw in or anything. And then on the sides of the helicopter, there are a gun set and a missile pod. Those screw on with 4 screws. Very, very simple, and it does come with the screwdriver in the kit to do this. You are also going to get a USB Type-C cable to charge your battery. You get the transmitter and 1 flight pack. If you want additional flight batteries, we do have them available right here at Motion RC for you to get at the time of ordering. Now, just like the other version of this helicopter, it is super detailed. Right out of the box, you have the sliding and operating side doors that work. Underneath it, you're going to see the battery goes right in the bottom of the helicopter, and it does have the indicator lights to tell you if it's charged or not. And they do work in flight, so you can tell just by looking at it what your battery level is at. Now, another cool feature of this little helicopter is it does have lights. So if you're going to be flying this in the dusk, you have your 2 nav lights here on the top of the helicopter. And then on the back, you're going to have the indicator LED that's going to tell you your modes and any type of warning messages from the helicopter if you're trying to read out what the issue is at the time of your trying to fly. This indicator does go through a lot of different things, and they are covered in your manual what all the different flash sequences stand for. But today's video is all about just flying this helicopter. So after you get it out of the box, you get your battery charged up, it's time to start thinking about flying. But before we go fly the helicopter, we really need to do a compass calibration and go on and calibrate the gyro in the helicopter. So it's pretty easy to do it though. To do a gyro calibration, you want the helicopter setting level on a table, the ground, whatever. You want something level. Then you're going to take the right hand stick down into the right hand corner and the left hand stick up into the left hand corner. The indicator light on the back of the helicopter will flash green and red, then solid red, then you'll see the head move for a second, and you have successfully done a gyro calibration. Now, in order to do our compass calibration, you're going to go on and move your sticks just the opposite direction. So right hand stick to the top right hand corner, left hand stick to the bottom left hand corner. Then the indicator light on the back of the helicopter will begin to flash and pulse yellow. At that point, you simply need to pick the helicopter up and spin it from the main rotor head shaft. The indicator light will change when it has it successful. Just like that, it went from yellow to green flashing. Now that that's done, we can grab the helicopter by the tail, turn it up on its nose, and now rotate it until our indicator light changes again. And there you have, we have a solid LED now. It's all calibrated and ready to head to the field. Or, like I said, first time you get to the field, it's good to do both of those also. Now, if you're flying it all day, once you've done once, that's plenty. So, your first flight, you really need to take and make sure all your switches are in the correct position. So, on the top left-hand corner, you have an 8 and a 0. That is flying in a figure 8 or in a circle. That's automatic modes. Beside that, you have auto and manual. In auto mode, the helicopter is going to use the optical flow sensor on the bottom of the helicopter in conjunction with the GPS to keep that helicopter as locked in as it can be, not moving at all. If you take that and put it in manual mode, that's going to disable that, and the helicopter is going to be able to drift and go a little bit faster. Beside that, you have the danger or unlock button. If it's in the danger mode, the head cannot spin. If it's unlocked, it is able to be turned on and fly. Remember, if you're in flight and you flip the danger mode, wherever that helicopter is, it's going to go to full rotor brake and it's going to fall out of the air right where it is. So that's really only to use in an emergency situation. You know, the helicopter's getting away from me. There's a bunch of kids over there. I don't want it to go over there. I'd rather it just go away. Hit that button, it's going to fall out of the air right where it is. So it's a safety thing. And remember, even though this is a smaller helicopter, this is a 200 size helicopter with an aluminum braid and a brushless motor inside of it. So be careful not to hit anybody with this. Now, the next switch that we need to talk about is the 3-position switch on the right-hand side. At the top, it is an optical flow only mode. Then you have the center position, which is GPS mode. It will get a full GPS signal. It'll actually tell you in the center of the screen how many satellites you have. And in this mode, you can use return to home, the circle, and the figure 8 mode. So let's talk about once you get this thing out to the field and you're ready to actually fly it. In order to arm your helicopter, you're gonna turn it on, set it down, wait 20 to 30 seconds, and you're gonna get a beep noise. Once it does, the indicator light on the back of this helicopter, as long as you're in GPS mode on your transmitter, will turn solid green. You'll see your satellites on there, and we're ready to fly. Hold your sticks down and to the outside. That will initiate the rotor head, and then it's as simple as pushing the collective stick forward in order to lift off the ground. Now, keep this thing in low rates at first, just like it comes out of the box. Fly it around. Get yourself used to orientation. When the helicopter's coming at you, it's the wrong direction of what your brain thinks, and it's one of the hardest things to figure out in model aviation. The good news with this helicopter is everything happens really slowly, so you have time to think about it. Now, once you get your feet wet and you're getting your bearings, the first thing you want to work on is take this thing and put it in high rate. On the bottom left-hand side of the screen, there is an H and an L. That is your high and low rate button. When you push that, you're going to get more travel from your stick. So if you push full collective, in low rate, you get a little bit of tilt. In high rate, when you push it, you're going to get a bunch of tilt. That will also equate to more speed out of the helicopter, so make sure you give enough room for the helicopter to stop when you let off the stick. This can eat up some serious real estate out there as far as how much room this needs to take up. Open fields to fly these in, guys. Now, let's also talk about that 8 and circle button now. If you hit the figure 8 button, the helicopter will establish itself, and then it's gonna do a perfect figure 8 until you tell it to stop. The way to tell it to stop is just command some stick input while it's in that mode, and it will come out of it. Now, be advised, there is no obstacle avoidance on this helicopter, and whatever altitude you tell it to do this maneuver at, it's gonna do it. So keep an eye out that it's not gonna hit a person or a tree or any of that kind of stuff when you do this. Now, the other thing you can do is push that button down. That is the circle mode. The helicopter will then fly a perfect circle around a point. Once again, to come out of that mode, just touch the stick and it will come out of it. Now then, let's talk about the inverted flight mode of this helicopter. You've been working your way around it, you're used to high rates and low rates, and you're ready to try this. So, in order to actually do the inverted flight mode, the helicopter needs to be in high rates, which will be indicated on the transmitter where it says low or high. It needs to say high. Then you need to get above 26 feet, then hold the mode button on the transmitter and command a full right or left roll from the helicopter. At that point, the helicopter will flip upside down and inverted. It does lose optical flow sensors at this point because they're pointed to the sky, but if you have the GPS on, it will still use GPS to hold its position as well as it can. And it does a pretty darn good job, even inverted. The controls also flip themselves over automatically, which means the helicopter flies exactly the same inverted as it does right side up, making this very easy for you to use this. Whenever you get done, it's as simple as going up to above 26 feet again, pushing the mode button, and then commanding a full input from the stick. will then flip back over and you're back to flying normal. Now, a little caveat to that, if you fly it a little too long and then trying to go inverted, if it senses it doesn't have enough power in the pack, it won't actually let you flip the helicopter inverted, which is a nice feature of it. Now, if the helicopter battery dies while you're flying, it's going to automatically go into return to home mode. When that happens, it's going to just go to wherever it took off from and land there. If you need to take it away from it, start wiggling the sticks. It should let you take over, or you can always flip it to manual mode if you don't want it to do that. Now, speaking of return to home, on the top right-hand side of the transmitter, if you flip that switch down to the one that has a little H with a circle around it, the helicopter will come back to wherever it originally took off from and land there. It's usually within about 3 feet. Once it's on the ground, the rotor head will power down automatically. Now, if you choose to land your helicopter manually, it's pretty simple. Bring the helicopter down to the ground, hover gently, and then lower it on the ground. Once it's on the ground, you can command full down stick on your throttle channel, and after about 2.5 seconds, it will turn off. But what I prefer to do is once the helicopter touches down, I reach up and just flip the danger button. That will kill the rotor head instantly, and the helicopter will spool down. Well guys, I've covered just about everything I can on this little guy. I'm gonna get it out to the field and do some more flying. But if you've decided to get one, they're available right now here at motionrc.com. If you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. We make content like this almost every day on RC products that are coming out in the industry. I personally think we're the #1 place to shop for RC products on the internet now, and I cannot wait for guys to start getting all these little helicopters. I've been having a blast with them, and I think they've been really well received. So until next time, I'm Wes right here at motionrc.com, and whether it's air, land, or sea, you can get it right here at Motion RC. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.